What's up, guys? Today we're doing some more work on the MR2. I just got the manifold pulled off of this thing because I'm finally ready to get the wastegates mounted on it. So I got that off, had to pull the turbos and stuff like that off, obviously, to get to our manifold. But I got these two tile 44mm wastegates right here, and I already went ahead and tacked the flanges to some 45-degree elbows. I also went ahead and polished these up before I came over here. I was using Hayden's little polisher so I can have everything match, make it all look nice and pretty. But I got these guys tacked on, and these are basically just gonna go right here on the back of the collector. One's gonna go there, like that, and then the other is going to go right here, just kind of sideways. I already double checked everything with this in the car, and that's how I want to run it. So once I get that done, we can go ahead and start putting all this back on the car. The wastegates will be done, the manifold will be ready to go, and everything will be kind of finalized as far as that goes. We don't have to take this back off for anything. And yesterday I also went ahead and got the exhaust completely knocked out. Everything is fully welded now, and as you can see right here, we have a Y-band bung in the center of our X pipe right here, so that is ready to go. And yeah, the only thing I need to do on this later on, like I said, is I do want to add some tips. I was actually kind of experimenting with that yesterday. This is like a piece of a 45 or something that I just found laying around, and I think I want to do something like this on the end of the exhaust on each side. Give it a little kick to get the exhaust up and away from each other, you know, something like that. But other than the tips, the exhaust is pretty much done for the MR2. And then Roman was just helping me a little bit ago. He got my last coolant line ran for me yesterday. We also pulled this coolant tube off right here and got our other -16 bung welded onto the end of that. And then today we just got these fittings to finish this second coolant line right here. And as you can see, that runs up to our brand new K-tuned billet thermostat housing. This guy is really nice because when you loosen these Allens, this piece right here actually swivels, so you can aim this wherever you need. And that is really nice as opposed to the stock one, which is kind of a fixed location. So that is really awesome, and it came with the -16 fitting that just threads right into it. So then we have this nice clean AN line coming off of that. And then in the top of it, there is our coolant temp sensor. And then next to that, there's just a plug that we had to plug up. But other than that, that is ready to go. Our second coolant line is done. And then there's just a couple more plugs on that guy up there, up by the filler neck that we have to finish up. And other than that, the coolant system will be done. And then we can go ahead and start adding our coolant and get her topped off and ready to go. But she is getting really close. I think after I finish the manifold, I do plan on just getting this all back on the car, get the exhaust back on, stuff like that. We're gonna try to get the pump wired up, get coolant in it, and I'm hoping by the end of today, guys, we can get the MR2 fired up and see how that exhaust sounds and let it fully warm up, since we'll have coolant in there, kind of monitor everything and just go from there. So I'm really excited. That's the goal for the end of today, is to get the MR2 fired up. But we got some wastegates to put on first, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that knocked out. Check it out, guys. Got the manifold completely done, got both wastegates on, and she is ready to go back onto the car. I also took a Dremel and ported out all of these holes right here because not all of them were perfectly lined up with the hole. Some of them were slightly off, so there was a lip, but I took the die grinder and then I ported all those all the way around so they're nice and smooth now, so the air can flow better going into there. But both wastegates are on. I got them pretty tight. I'm not sure if this is the exact location where they're going to sit, but that is just my guesstimate so far. I still obviously have to get the dump tubes made later on as well, but the gates are on and ready to go. So we're just doing some more final things on the coolant system for the car right now, and once we lower it back down, we're gonna go ahead and get this back on there, get the turbos back on, get the exhaust on, and just keep going from there. We got everything back together, got the turbos back on, exhaust is on. We got gaskets right here in between the turbos. Those weren't on there before. We also have the gaskets on the T3 flanges, but manifold's back on, and we got our gates on there, and I'm really happy with how those came out. We got plenty of room on each side of those to run our downpipes. I think when I do go ahead and do the downpipes, I'm probably just gonna run them down through that area right there above that like K-member, and then that will be done. And we actually just topped it off with water. We had to make sure all of our plugs were tight. We did have a couple fittings that were a little loose. They were just leaking, so we had to go back under the car and just snug everything up. But it does have water in it right now, and we're gonna have to let it cycle through once we start this thing up. But yeah, right now I'm actually getting ready to put some gas in this thing because we went and got some fresh E85, just a couple gallons in this jug right there, but that should be enough just to start it up. And we need to test our fuel system. We got the pump kind of just ghetto wired up for right now just to make it work kind of how we did last time. Need to make sure that the fuel system doesn't have any leaks because we have not tried to prime it yet since we did all of that. But yeah, she is getting really close, guys, and getting really excited. We also got the coils in there to fire that up as well. We need those, and then we're also going to add a couple grommets that we're missing right here on the top of the valve cover. Need to find a couple of those or else it's gonna be leaking. But man, we're right there, guys, so hold tight and we're gonna see if we can get this thing fired up. Hopefully we don't have any leaks. I'm sending it all.
All of it?
All of it.
Oh Lord. Nothing yet.
We'll really know once we
prime it.
Yep. Alright, so this should make the pump come on when I ground this wire right here. Yep. You wanna
check for leaks?
Yeah,
Nothing underneath. Let me check up top. Oh, we're good.
nice.
Yep.
No fuel leaks. Pump's good.
Give it a little
Plenty
more
of gas. One for the homies. Are you in?
I'm in, man.
Got the TPS and map reading. We didn't have that last time and it was running a little rough.
I don't think the coolant's right though. It says it's 176 degrees and it hasn't even started. So
Yeah, that's probably not right.
I could be wrong, but
We don't even have a coolant temp sensor plugged in.
No.
So
it's defaulted out.
yeah.
Alright.
Where is your coolant temp sensor?
Should be under by the cam sensors, right under,
Is this
right under, on the head.
plug though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I got coolant temp.
There it is.
Perfect.
Well,
Well, in theory, she's light.
it's all there. I mean, I got my jump box plugged in, you know.
We got
Jumper
fuel,
cables
we got
ran.
air, we got spark. We're gonna fire it up.
Yep.
So are we good then?
Yeah.
It's the same tune that was loaded in it before?
Yep.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah. Got you. hold on. Kill it. Kill it. I think these, I bet you these are flipped. It sounds like these are flipped.
Maybe.
I bet you they
We've
are.
done it before.
Yeah.
Could be the cam sensors.
Yeah.
Same thing that was on Roman's car. It didn't
Yeah.
start. Actually, it did start, but it just ran.
It just ran like crap.
That water neck comes really close to this one.
Yeah.
It still goes.
Does it? Cool.
Yep.
Sick. Alright.
Whoa! Ground ejector sealed. Sounds pretty good. There it is. Woo! Brent's tuning her out. You don't even need the wideband. He just listens to it. We just need those axles. I know, let's go for a drive. It's alive.
It's alive. Yeah.
It's getting a little hot, so
Yeah, she's getting a little
we're letting it warm up, and
Might be an air pocket.
our top coolant fitting right here is leaking a little bit. It's kind of spitting out of that hole right there.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's kind of
just
starting
went
to
through
idle
all that?
surge.
I went through all of that.
I know, Roman's car literally just did that.
Yeah.
I don't know, these are
It's like,
really
this is my
good
car.
fittings too.
Cam signals are wrong, and then
Yeah.
the fittings, it's the same stuff.
And look, who worked on it? The same guy.
It's all my fault.
Didn't learn from your mistakes, bro.
Well, the thing is, the expensive fittings, they don't work. I
Dude, I don't
spent
know.
$80 on
I know, that's a
something.
nice fitting.
I know.
And it's just spitting, I don't know why
I
it's
put
doing that.
Amazon ones on mine, and they seem to work fine now.
Where's it spitting?
Out of the
Out of that little hole right
Yeah,
there.
cool down and the two-step might work, bro.
The two-step might work?
Yeah, I was working on it. So.
Hey, but she's running,
Yeah,
dude.
it's running.
It's so close.
Yeah, it
Just a
sounds good.
set of axles away and plug that shifter in and brap.
I like where the gates are mounted. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it came out sick.
Yeah, so sick.
I'm pumped. We just need those axles, dude. We can go race this thing.
It's coming.
Twin exhaust looks sick. Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds so good, dude. It isn't loud at all.
No, it's not bad.
Not at all. It actually sounds really good.
I like it a lot.
It has like a good, just.
Yeah.
sound, you know? It's good.
Hell yeah.
At like 10,000, 10,500 maybe. See what it sounds like. Screaming.
Turning 10,000 RPMs.
It looks so neat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exhaust sounds awesome.
Somebody's getting down.
So you think we should let it cool and see if it two-steps a little bit? Mm-hmm. No hesitation. Mm-hmm.
No, where's them axles?
Yeah.
He is the maxes.
And we got the seats in last night. So those are ready to go.
I just need to get some door bars done.
Yeah, I still need to finish the cage a little bit. Just the door bars and around the floor welds, but it's close. All right, so we're letting the water kind of bleed all the air bubbles out through this little spigot on the top of the radiator. We did not do that, so none of the coolant was actually even getting to the front up here because everything back there was really hot and our radiator was still cold. And now we're getting some flow up to the front of the car. All right, round 2. Yep. We have 2 vacuum leaks underneath. Those 2 holes I was asking you about, they need plugged. What? Oh. Done. Don't make it too rowdy now.
She needs more cowbell.
More cowbell.
Cowbell.
Killer.
Killer. It's a little warm.
Still getting hot.
Yeah, I still need to bleed it.
I need to figure out
But it
that
is
coolant.
that AM coolant.
Yeah, we do have that fitting just leaking. I mean, it was kind of 2-stepping though.
Listen close.
Oh, the turbos?
Does this have a factory
They're still
water
going.
pump on it?
Listen to them.
Tell me when your stops.
It's still going.
Yeah, mine too.
Who's gonna win?
Who is the better turbo?
Who is the better turbo?
Set on kill. Shit.
He's slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Kyle?
He's still going.
Oh man, this is tight.
This is a close race.
No
I'm about to stop.
Me too.
And stop.
Still going!
Oh!
Oh, it's still
Stop.
Damn, that one's gonna be putting in work.
Yeah. That was cool. Oh, that one's missing a bolt, that's why.
Oh, yeah,
Didn't have as much exhaust pressure as the other one.
Hey, well, kind of 2-step.
Yeah, it was a good start.
No flames just yet, but
Some T-bolt clamps and
it still needs a lot of little
Vacuum
things.
lines hooked up to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was idle surging because
Keeping-
there's 2 ports on the bottom of that throttle body that
Like,
need
if I
plug.
put my finger partially over one, it'd kind of idle normal.
Yeah, it'll help
But
on
that
the
is
2-step
cool.
to have all the boost to help
You just go.
Yeah.
make it explode. So.
Yeah, and Brent was saying since I have those 2 ports right under there, I could just go to both blow-off valves
Yeah,
and
it's super clean.
done.
The push lock stuff.
Super nice.
Has it.
Yeah. All right, we just got the MR2 fired up and it sounds so good. Had a couple issues with the coolant. It was starting to get hot and we had a fitting that was leaking. I did back the fitting all the way off and then like retightened it really hard and we haven't tried it since then. But there's still a lot of air in the system as well. So we need to completely bleed the cooling system, but mainly get that fitting figured out. Not sure why it's leaking so bad. And right now I'm actually getting ready to do an oil change on it because we let it completely warm up and I just want to kind of get all that braking oil out of it. And I still have some more just cheap O'Reilly oil for right now. And I'll run it a little longer on this batch, but you know, nothing too crazy. And then I'll be changing that soon. And then I'll go to a better oil right after this. But started up, fully warmed up, sounds awesome. And then just a couple little more things to button up, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and get this oil changed and yeah, get her done. All right, we got the oil draining out of the MR2, and it is really milky and kind of watery, but it is a whole bunch of fuel mixed in with the oil because the very first time we started this thing up, it was running super rich. There was even fuel kind of dumping out of the exhaust. So good thing we changed the oil right away because it's kind of watery right now, but it shouldn't be a big deal at all. It's still like really oily, and we'll get a new batch of oil in there and she should be ready to go. I just put some fresh oil in the MR2, and I think we are calling it for tonight. Roman actually also got my blow-off valves plumbed for me. So it was actually really convenient because on the bottom of that K-Tune throttle body, there were 2 ports under there that were like 1/8 inch MPT, and it was idling really high when we had it running because those weren't plugged, and if you put your fingers over them, the idle would come down where it was supposed to be. And we kind of used those to our advantage, and then we just put a push lock fitting into each one of those down on the throttle body and then ran those to our blow-off valves. So that made it really convenient and they look nice and clean. And yeah, so that's done. Wastegates are on the car. There's a fresh batch of oil, like I just said. Wide band bung is on there. It's getting really close. Fuel system's working. Coolant still needs some work. We did have an issue with the fitting leaking, so once we get that figured out, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Just got to do some wiring, get a battery for this thing, and wait on those freaking axles, and she's right there. Get the shifter mounted. It's getting closer, but I'm really excited. I think the exhaust sounded awesome. We did try to 2-step it a little bit, but it wouldn't really build up because we don't have any of the clamps on the boost pipes, and the blow-off valves still actually need their O-rings. There's still some ports on the turbos that are just boost leaks right now, so without it actually being able to build boost because of all of our clamps and stuff aren't on there, it's not gonna, you know, start to backfire and do that crazy 2-step like they normally do. But yeah, it's definitely getting closer. Really excited. So I mean, I'm pretty sure by the time the axles come, we're gonna be able just to slap them in and go take it for a drive. But that's where she's at for tonight, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the exhaust, and come back tomorrow and maybe double check that coolant. Emilio should be back. Maybe we can work on this Supra some more. Just keep going from there, but she's almost ready.